Hello there. Welcome to the Third and 10 podcast. Episode 53 of season 2 is now live. I'm Nate. That's Brian to my right. Brian, how you doing, man? How was your weekend? Hope the games went as well as you expected.
No, we were let
Yeah.
down. We had a letdown
Yeah,
this weekend. What's
we
the
sure
money, though?
were.
That's all that matters.
How much did you win? I think that's a more
I don't
important
even
question here.
know at this point. I have to
Wow.
I had to sift through it all. It's
I
five.
so
It's been 5 days of just betting. I need to sit down and actually sit how many wins and losses I had.
you like the glasses. It's like, okay, let's see.
I got to do
Semifinal.
basically I do my taxes right now. That's what I had to do
Ah,
after the show was
nice.
over. Just like, okay, all right, well, that lost. Oh, that one. Oh, that lost though.
Like tax season is upon us, and
Yeah, this one's fun though. You get to oh, cool.
it's like I won this much or I earned
hmm
this much, but I'm gonna be refunded also this much from taxes and all the things. So
Exactly.
um yeah, I live in California, so taxes are pretty high over here. And you live in the
Connecticut.
East Coast, Connecticut, so
Yeah.
I'm sure taxes are a bit of a factor as well.
hmm
I think the only state Texas, right, is the only state in the
No, there's
United
a few
States.
states with no income tax. Florida doesn't have one either.
Ah,
A lot of the southern states don't have it.
and even Tyreek Hill still wants to leave Miami. So but that's a story for another day.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a uneventful yet still good wild card weekend. There was one really good game. Every other game was kind of either a blowout or not very close per se.
Yeah.
Um,
It wasn't a blowout, but you're like there's one team that's better here and the other team
and
is
it's
not gonna catch up to them. The
mhm.
score might look close, but that's not indicative of how these teams are playing.
One game started as if it was could be an upset with the Broncos and the Bills, but then the Bills
Yeah,
kind of made their
fast
statement.
start by the Broncos there.
It
Fast start. I'm
was
like, okay, Bo Nix.
we
Because I
have
remember, I was
something
talking to my
here.
friend, and he goes, I weirdly think the Broncos could pull an upset. And he was like rattling off. I'm like, you're not wrong. And then I saw a touchdown. I'm like, damn, like he might be onto something here. And then Josh Allen happened. I'm like,
Took
oh,
over, and I was like,
that's the
okay.
Bills that we've seen all year.
It's like this is more like we were used to seeing.
Yeah.
So yeah. So we'll talk about wildcard weekend and all the things. Plus, as you can see with Brian's hat, someone's team made it to the national championship. We're
It's
super
so much. You
excited.
know how much fun football is when your team is good?
It
I forgot how much fun it is to watch football when your team is good.
is the pain of the Giants not doing well
It
gone
really is.
now.
I really think the Giants have affected my love of football. I really do. I truly do. Because I imagine loving something and every single Sunday it just beats you down. And just be like, this sucks.
Oh, I'm glad your Irish has kind of revived that love of the game for you. As you guys did make to the national championship, we'll get your thoughts on that later as you guys will face Ohio State, but not before you guys defeated Penn State. What was a great game.
All time game.
Yeah,
It's
oh yeah.
the game of 2024 might be the game of best game we've had in a little bit. Like
A very
it was
messy game
intense.
too. It was messy from
It
a
was
passing
messy, yeah,
standpoint.
exactly. But that was kind of what made it fun.
Yeah. So sometimes the messiest games are the funnest games. It doesn't mean that points aren't being scored. It's just points are being
Yeah.
scored just in an ugly manner.
Yeah, like everyone
And
points to like the Chiefs and Rams game as like the greatest game of all time because it was like just an offensive explosion. Like, yeah, that's fun. We watch both teams go up and down the field, but like that game is good because both sides of the ball had major impact plays. So it was really like an all around effort, not just which offense is going to have the ball last.
So yeah, I mean your defense stepped up when it mattered most. But like I said, I want to have that segment fully to you because that's your Irish, your team. You guys made it, into the national championship, which was every team strives for every single year. It's gonna be a great game to watch come the 20th of January. But we got to take care of NFL business first. We'll go through all 6 wildcard games, not fully in length, but just give our thoughts on it and stuff like that. Because if we give our full thoughts on it, it's gonna go for freaking hours, and we don't want to do that to y'all. So. All right, game numero uno. As y'all can see on YouTube, the fun is still here because, like I said, don't know how to change it, but Brian insists that we keep it, so we're keeping
It's fun. Don't you people like fun?
Well, if you're Giants.
Okay, the Giants fans like fun. They just don't get it.
Fair enough. All right. Texans 32, Chargers 12. Look.
Shock. This was the shocker.
What you did there?
I think everybody thought that this score would be flipped. If I told you the final score of Texans Chargers was 32-12, who do you think had 32?
Oh, definitely the Chargers for sure. But it was a mess for the Chargers. I think heading into the playoffs, looking at this Chargers team, I was thinking, okay, Herbert's hot. McConkey's playing really well. Quentin Johnson just had a great Week 18 game. Dobbins is back. Like, this offense can get it done defensively. They got Khalil Mack, Bosa, all the things. Texans, injury-riddled team. Dell gone. Diggs gone. Mix and battle injuries are pretty much at some point in the season missed a few games. CJ Stroud, same thing.
Took a major step back too.
Yeah.
For Stroud. Like, not just injuries. It's like this guy is not the quarterback he was in 2023.
No, sir. So with all that being considered, I was okay. Plus, the Texans defense wasn't that good all year long. I was like, okay, Chargers should run away with this one. Well, I was wrong. Very wrong. Justin Herbert looked very bad. 4 interceptions on the day. McConkey played really well, though, but it just wasn't enough. Everyone else on the Chargers team did not do their job, or they just were irrelevant to the game in every way, shape, or form. For the Texans, they took advantage of Herbert's 4 interceptions. Shaw didn't play extremely well, but he got the job done.
He didn't need to. He just needed to play better than Justin Herbert, which wasn't hard.
No, it was not. When you go 22 of 33, 282 and a touchdown, that's better than 14 of 32 for 242 and 4 picks and 1 touchdown, I guess. But
yeah, like he didn't turn the ball over 4 times. He didn't kill 4 offensive drives. He's just like, all right, I'll just be a game manager and do what I have to do here.
Yeah, it was insane. Just the major difference in receiving numbers for the Chargers, because McConkey, like I mentioned, went off for 9 catches, 197. The next best receiver was Will Dissly, 2 catches for 16 yards. Very big
Will Dissly. I keep forgetting he's in the league. I remember he was a big fantasy player for me like 5 years ago when he was on the Seahawks. He was like always the guy I could like nab in the late rounds, and I was always like, this is going to be a guy who's going to be really sneaky good, and no one's going to see it till like week 5. Like, just stash him on the bench till then.
He was relevant at some points this year due to some injuries. Let's be honest, the whole tight end position this year, it's a down year for tight ends. Yeah. I mean, I think in every single year it sucks, because if you don't get yourself a Kelsey or an Andrews or a Kittle, you're pretty much screwed.
Even this year, if you got one of those guys, you didn't really have the expected. Like, Kelsey sucked all year. Andrews turned it on at the very end, but there were for like a good half of the season, it's like, this guy's unplayable. Even Kittle wasn't like great. There wasn't a great tight end this year. You kind of just strung guys together and hope you picked right.
There was no consistent only unless you're Brock Bowers, but that's
you
being like really smart, predicting like, oh, he's gonna do well since he played for Georgia and all the things, but no one really thought Brock Bowers was going to be a top tight end in fantasy.
I mean, like, people like expected him, but he was a very big boomer bust guy. It's like, yeah, this guy could come in and do crazy numbers, but he's also a rookie. So like, and dealing with a bad quarterback situation. So everybody pump your brakes a little bit. It's the same thing that Neighbors had. It's like, yeah, this guy's extremely talented, but his quarterback situation sucks.
I thought Theo Johnson was going to be good fantasy wise. No, I'm just playing. That'd be me being completely insane if I thought Theo Johnson was going to be
maybe in like a couple seasons he could be a bye week kind of guy where like your tight end's on a bye, you need someone to spot start, you throw Theo Johnson in there, get you like 10 points, but that's not for a few seasons.
If you guys ever question our reality when it comes to the Giants, trust me, Brian saying that in 2 years he'll be at best a bye week substitute in terms of Theo Johnson's fantasy value, instead of saying he's going to be a top 5 tight end, that's when we're realist, not fakest.
Homers.
That's a better word. Back to the game. But overall, look, Houston advancing, that's great, but they're going to be out. Both of these teams.
Yeah, this was.
I don't know. I just like you mentioned earlier, that to me, I thought the Chargers were going to win, but this kind of it's a good building block for the Chargers. If looking for one positive, at least it's a good building block because
It's a
they made the
culture
playoffs.
game.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
At
it's
least they
like, all
made
right,
the
we
playoffs.
are
Yeah.
ahead of schedule. We kind of got blown out, but hey, we weren't supposed to be here. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a win for us. Let's, go in the offseason, address what we need to address, and then take the next step forward next year, which is win a playoff game.
Mm-hmm. They just need a lot of playmakers.
Yeah.
Oh, not a lot, but at least a
They
good
need
amount
someone
to trade.
alongside McConkey. Someone else for Herbert to throw to and, like, be reliable enough.
Mm-hmm. They'll be strong contenders for T. Higgins, and
Ooh.
if you want to take a step forward or maybe a step too far, maybe that could be a reality. Tyreek Hill is an option in terms of a trade, which
It's not the worst idea. If you can get him for, some mid-round picks, why not? Like, I
mhm,
know he's kind of aging. He's not the receiver he once was, but he doesn't have to be that guy. He's going to come in there and be the wide receiver too. That's a perfect guy for the Chargers to explore if they want to take that next step. And then
mhm.
if T. Higgins becomes too expensive.
Or obviously the easy route is the draft, which they can go out and get a young rookie wide receiver. Now it's most likely they're not going to get themselves a Travis Hunter or a
It's going to be
Ted
ours.
McMillan.
Bruce Travis Hunter will be ours. He's going to be a giant in a few years.
So that's
I
going to be.
think so. The Browns are going quarterback now.
I don't think I can face that.
I can't face the reality of Travis Hunter's going to be a giant because I'm like, whoa, the Giants are getting this like potential generational player. Like, we don't get those.
That's where we disagree. I can't believe we're getting a Hunter because I know that the obvious thing is we need a quarterback, but
Right, but
I
we have
can't
to address
accept
that
the
in free
reality.
agency. It's not a draft.
Um,
We can't in the draft now. We kind of got boxed out with the Titans and Browns.
but part of me thinks something's going to happen in which one of the top two teams ahead of us isn't going quarterback. I don't know if it's me being blind to the fact that both need a quarterback, but what scares me is what happening at 2. It's not like Tennessee.
I would have said you're right with the Browns at 2, but the news of Deshaun Watson tearing his Achilles again.
But even that doesn't bother me either because
But
they
no, I
can
think
go
it's
out.
like the Browns are like they have a golden opportunity here to get out of it and get a young quarterback, and they're sitting right there. Take that opportunity, take the shot.
But then there's the side of signing your free agent and looking at the team as a whole. You put you put a Shadur in there or Cam because it's more than likely Cam Ward's going number 1 with Tennessee.
Yeah.
Um, according to reports, in love with Ward. So Sanders could be likely going number 2 to Cleveland. But part of me thinks he's not going there. Not just because I don't think Cleveland's a good fit, but there's something I think in both Dion, which is bad to say because Dion is not going to the NFL.
No,
Shadur is.
did you see what he posted this morning? He's absolutely not going to the NFL. He's gonna build something in Colorado now. He posted like a whole like a brand new like
Which is
philosophy,
really good. Yeah.
you don't go to class in a t-shirt and slides. You go to professional, you sit in the front row, you listen. Like, this is a guy that's building something in Colorado. He's not leaving now.
Yeah. Plus the fact that he has an $8 million buyout scares the Cowboys, but I digress.
Yeah.
No,
No, the Cowboys are going with a college coach. It's Lincoln Riley. That they've been rumored for him for years.
well, obviously when you wait too damn long to interview a coach or specifically Ben Johnson and etc., that's what you get for waiting to fire McCarthy this long. But, that's the Cowboys for you. That this is a team that didn't sign Derrick Henry because he costed too much. Sure, when in reality he costed what, $8 million per year that the Ravens signed him for.
Yeah, he had 16 mil over 2 seasons.
Yeah,
He'll be a fine short. We're about to see the absolute downfall of Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys right now. Like, it's gonna fall apart because I don't think McCarthy was a good coach by any like standards, but I think he had enough experience in the league and had gone deep playoff routes that he could demand respect in the locker room and kind of get more out of his guys than normally could. I just don't know who's going to want to take that Cowboy job with Jerry Jones lingering over your head the entire time. Like, why would you want to go there?
Yeah, Troy Aikman made a good point yesterday during the pregame broadcast and talking
I
about
was
how,
shocked Aikman said that.
yeah,
Shocked.
and if you guys don't know, Aikman was a member of the Dallas Cowboys back in the day. And hey, he's someone that whenever he does talk about the game, not just when it comes to the announcing booth, he speaks facts. He's a very knowledgeable guy. And for him to come out and say that, 100% true. There's nothing, especially from a player standpoint, there's nothing to look forward to. CD, great. Dak, what? You're going to work with that?
You're kind of stuck with that. Like, Dak's an okay quarterback, but he's nothing more than a game manager who's being wildly overpaid. Like, you're not going to come in. It's not like it's a young quarterback and you can kind of mold him. You can't mold
No, you cannot.
him right now. He's just there.
Yeah. So, and before we go to the rest of the games, I think we might as well mention the subject. So McCarthy is officially out in Dallas. If you guys don't know, they'll be looking for a head coach. Brian mentioned Lincoln Riley. There's other options as well in terms of the NFL. If Ben Johnson is still there long enough, obviously he won't officially.
Ben Johnson wants the right situation. Dallas is not the situation.
Dallas is not the situation. No, sir. But there's plenty of candidates. Joe Brady's another option as well that's out there. Joe Brady is the Bills. My apologies, Bills offensive coordinator that works with Josh Allen, so that's another option as well. If we want, think outside the box, Mike Tomlin is someone else that Dallas Cowboys could potentially get some way somehow. It'll take a lot of work, but he's an out of the box option.
Let's talk about Tomlin for a second while we're here. If you're a Steelers fan, like you want to move on from him, right? Like it's not saying Tomlin's a bad coach by any stretch of the imagination. He's a great coach. He's never been under 500 record, but he's 3-9 in the playoffs since I think the Super Bowl. They haven't won a playoff game in forever. Like at a certain point, when does going 9-8, 10-7 become just redundant? It's like we have to take that next step. Tomlin's voice is stale. He's been here forever. Let's just move on and try to bring in a new voice that might jumpstart this team and get us to that next level.
You keep Tomlin, you're studying for mediocrity. If you let him go, it's a sign that you're trying to get things in the right direction. But you're letting go of a very, very respected head coach that just can't get over the hump with this Steelers team.
Like that's what I'm saying. Like getting rid of Tomlin isn't a knock on Tomlin. It's more just like you've been here for too long. Everyone has to go eventually. Like the Patriots fired Bill Belichick. No one's untouchable.
That is true, and he's chilling in North Carolina. Although there's some question marks there, but as you guys can see by the headline on YouTube, Mike Vrabel kind of took over the Patriots job, so that kind of quieted talks in terms of Belichick coming back.
I would be
sort of.
Yeah, the only place I could see Belichick would maybe if Brady convinced him to be a Raider, but I highly doubt he wants to do that. I think he wants the challenge at UNC, and he set a job up for his son. So it's just like, all right, I'll go here for 4 years. I'll hang out with my hot girlfriend. I'll get my son a job. I'll ride off into the sunset. No matter what happens here, people will forget about it because I won 6 Super Bowls.
Yeah, that is true. Plus, the Raiders are chasing Ben Johnson.
Yeah,
Tom Brady's
I think Ben Johnson. I think he's going to Vegas because he was out on Vegas and then Brady sold him on it. I think he's got a big respect for Tom Brady, and if Tom Brady can become a bigger voice in that Raiders front office, Johnson I think will go right there.
Man, the influence of Tom Brady, huh? Such a cool guy he is.
I know. Yeah.
God, I love him. Now, if he beat us in the Super Bowl, I would have hated him, but I love him.
I mean, I want him to become a bigger part of the Raiders front office so he can get out of the Fox booth and we can get Burkhardt and Olsen back together because Olsen. No offense to Tom Brady. Olsen is much,
Is Brady bad?
Not that he's bad. It's just Olsen's better.
That is true.
It's just hey, I'm sure Brady worked on his craft for 5 years and did play-by-play. He would be a solid analyst, but he wouldn't be the A guy. He should be like the B guy, like the guy that gets there's America's Game of the Week on Fox, and then there's the regional game that also happens. He should get that game. That's his role.
It just, well, when you name Tom Brady, you get all you get whatever you want.
Right, yeah, you can't put Tom Brady on that. I'm just saying, like, as a football fan, I like
Yeah,
listening to Greg Olson more than I like listening to Tom Brady talk about the game. 'Cause I think Olson has a better, I don't know how to describe it. He just
he's
comes
a
off better, more
better fit
relatable.
for the broadcast booth compared
Mm-hmm.
to a Brady who, in his first year, hasn't looked too bad. But I think when you're part of an ownership of an NFL team
Yeah.
and you do broadcast,
He's
there's sort
also
of
almost
yeah.
too big for the broadcast booth, you know?
Hmm.
Like, you don't really see like these all-time great players become broadcasters. It's kind of always like the good to average guys that move to the booth.
Not a 6-time Super Bowl champion.
Yeah, like,
Mm,
like Troy Aikman won a couple Super Bowls and he's a Hall of Famer, but like he kind of waited for it. He didn't like retire and 2 years later right in the booth, you know? He's kind of like the one exception. Outside of that, it's been like, you know, Phil Simms was all right. Romo had an average career.
mhm.
Matt Ryan's got an average career. Tiki's got an average career. Like, it's not these big name guys.
There hasn't been a bigger name during the broadcast booth than Tom
No.
Brady, and from what we've seen, hasn't been the best fit. So I mean,
Like
if
Brady, I mean, like Peyton does it, but Peyton does it in a fun way because he's not
yeah,
he's more of doing like a hangout kind of thing. Like
yeah,
if
it's
it
not
was
an
just us
actual
talking and a
broadcast.
game
Yeah,
was going on.
it's not an actual broad. I mean, it is the Manning cast that Payne and Eli do, but it's like it's a alternate broadcast. They don't
They're not
have.
breaking down the game. It's kind of
Mhm.
like a bar talk style of watching
Yeah.
a football game. Like if you were at a bar, you're gonna talk about like this and this. Like yes, you're gonna break down the game. You're gonna talk about stats and stuff, but you're also gonna talk about like, oh, did you see this funny video of this player? You see like how hot this is the player's wife is. Like it's stuff like that also comes up, which is kind of what the Manning cast provides.
Yeah, and so yeah, we'll see what. It's more than unlikely that Brady, leaves the broadcast booth. But I think a lot of people would agree that he should focus more on ownership with the Raiders specifically, because that might contradict or interfere with his broadcast duties,
It
and that's
already
just
has because he can't sit in on production meetings,
which,
which hinders you a lot.
yeah,
It
it messes
hinders
up.
you a lot when talking sports.
Especially the chemistry with Burkhardt and
Mm-hmm.
all the things too. But hey, we'll see how
Yeah.
it happens there. Yeah, out goes McCarthy, in goes Mike Vrabel, who joins the Patriots staff after playing with the Patriots for quite some time and joining the Patriots Hall of Fame a couple years ago. So good for him there. I think he has the best situation out there for a head coach, no matter who joins what team this offseason. I think he has the best resources around him. Rookie quarterback, a lot of cap space. I think the number 4 overall pick.
Yeah.
He's a lucky guy. And I think that's a good, even though it was at the cost of Jared Mayo losing his job, which I personally think he didn't deserve to. Well, until I heard some reports about what happened in terms of his philosophy and his actions as a head coach, which
Yeah.
included, yeah, you heard.
He wasn't ready to be a head coach. He needed a
Mm-hmm.
few years in the cooker, Like he needed to like, get ready and like kind of learn more. He was kind of thrusted into the role of being the head coach. I think if you go somewhere, be a coordinator, be a positions coach, and then 10 years down the line, 5 years down the line, go get the head coaching job again, learn from your mistakes, and try again. But if you think about it, Vrabel is coming into a situation like perfect because Gerard Mayo took the heat of being the heir to Bill Belichick. He took all
Mm-hmm.
that heat. He was the one being constantly compared to Belichick, and it was so bad that Patriots fans wanted something different. Now they bring in Vrabel, and Vrabel will no longer be compared to Belichick. It's gonna be, well, he's better than Mayo, so hey, we lucked out. It's kind of perfect for him.
Yeah. Mayo was the easy scapegoat to
Exactly.
kind of keep
Yeah.
it simple
He
for
was the
sure.
sacrificial lamb, so the next coach wouldn't be having the problem of constantly being compared to Belichick. Vrabel
Mm-hmm.
will be compared to Belichick because he's a Belichick disciple, and if he wins, he'll always be like that guy. But it's going to be a lot less had he taken over last year.
It's a better situation than compared to last year, where it was like straight out the box. You have a rookie QB, the weapons around him, and the cap space not as good as it is right now. So Vrabel, great situation there in New England, and we'll see where McCarthy goes as he was fired by the Dallas Cowboys, and we'll see who Dallas gets to replace him. But back to the playoff games. Texans move on. We'll talk about the divisional games in just a bit after we wrap up all the NFL wildcard breakdowns. So, second game on the slate. Ravens 28, Steelers 14. When Derrick Henry kind of step farmed that Steelers defender, I think it was Fitzpatrick.
That was the perfect encapsulation of the whole game.
That's wraps for you. But yeah, look, Ravens running game, fan-freaking-tastic. Steelers, very lack of offense. 14 points. Honestly, I wouldn't have been surprised if they scored 0. I'm really surprised they even scored 14 points off this Ravens defense. Yeah, look, Pickens is your only more dangerous weapon. Your running game sucks if you're Pittsburgh. Yeah, I don't know. That you can be as good defensively all you want if you're Pittsburgh.
No.
But when Derrick Henry runs for 170 plus on you,
yeah, the defense doesn't matter at that point. And you don't have the offense to come back, or the offense can't put together a quick drive to score, which you need in the modern NFL. You need it. Yes, you can prioritize defense and be like, okay, we'll be a defensive-minded team, but you also need an average offense to win. You need an offense that can move the ball quickly, run the ball, throw the ball, do everything like that. The Steelers didn't have that.
Mm-hmm. And Wilson didn't play that bad.
No, but he wasn't
270, 2 touchdowns.
Impressive by the same standard. He was fine.
Yeah, 4 sacks, 46.5 QBR. The running game was atrocious. Only 29 yards and 11 carries for the Steelers. Najee he's bad. I'm not surprised if they move on from him after this year.
Oh my God, they 100% should. They 100% should. He'd be a nice that'd be a nice spot for Gentry to wind up in. Pittsburgh. I think he's gonna go to Dallas, but I really would like Gentry in Pittsburgh's offense. I think it's a game changer for them.
But you said he should go to Dallas, right?
I think he's going to go to Dallas. I think that's the spot he's going to. But I like Pittsburgh for him.
Cowboys fans are very happy with what you said there.
I mean, you need a run game, and this is a generational running back right here. It makes total sense to me.
It's not going to happen. Jerry Jones. He's going to be like, yeah, but I'm just saying, if he fell this far, yeah, but Will Campbell doesn't look too bad of an option. We can sign a mid-tier running back in free agency. Let's get ourselves Will Campbell.
What aging running backs on the open market that was good 2 years ago? And we'll just sign now.
Let's see. Oh, Najee Harris is still
there. Najee Harris is perfect. He's a big name. Is Miles Sanders by chance a free agent this offseason?
I believe so. I mean,
boom, Dallas Cowboy. Damn, that guy was so good in Philly. Yeah, he was.
He sure was.
Carolina.
And died
Sucked.
there. But that's Dallas for you. But anyways, yeah. So outside of Pickens, the Steelers offense, they definitely need playmakers as well this offseason. Whether it's a new running back or just supporting receivers outside of George Pickens, and even Pickens has his concerns as well, just with his off the field stuff and just not being the, I guess, respected receiver one that he should be, or whatever the case. I don't know how to describe it, but he's just not a very mature guy, I guess, per se, and that kind of scares me.
Oh my God, no! It's I've been saying for weeks, he's another Steeler with an attitude problem.
Mm-hmm.
Why they all fester on the Steelers, I don't know, and they got to figure it out.
We didn't see too much of Lamar in terms of his arm. Only threw for 175 yards, but he did throw 2 touchdowns, 16 of 21 overall.
I mean, when Derrick Henry is running guys over for almost 200 yards, you don't really need to see Lamar's arm. It's all right, we could actually just go with Derrick Henry this game. It's working.
The team ran for 299 as a team, which is, I think, the most in their franchise history in the playoffs. I think it might be an NFL record, but I may be mistaken there. But I'm sure there's been other playoff performances by a team that was more than 299 rushing yards. But from recent memory, 299 is a lot as a team. So, yeah, good game there. If you're Baltimore, if you're Pittsburgh, yeah, you got question marks that you have to solve this offseason. This one's also quick. Look, outside of
the Bill, this is what happened. The Bills came in, they let the Broncos with the first punch, and then they just knocked them out. It's kind of like it's like in movies where like the scrappy underdog punches someone and the guy they punch just kind of shakes it off and just like punch them into a wall. That's kind of what happened in this game.
It's like a little slap in the face, and then
Yeah, he
bam!
shakes it off and he just boom, and just like blows them away. It's like, all right, next.
Yeah, I think a lot of NFL fans were shocked to see Bo Nix hit Troy Franklin quickly in the game to start off, with the Broncos taking a 7-0 lead. And then everything just kind of crumbled from there if you're Denver, because Buffalo came out and they showed who they are, which is one of, if not the best team in the NFL, led by the best player in the NFL, which is Josh Allen. But yeah, Denver, it was a great year for them,
It's
ahead
the
of
same
schedule
spot
by far.
as San Diego. I mean,
Yes.
the Chargers. Same thing
Yeah.
as Chargers. Same
Yeah.
thing for them. It's not supposed to be here. We have a future franchise quarterback. Build around him.
Ahead of schedule, a bright future ahead. Sean Payton and Bo Nix are a great combination together. Do I think they need weapons? For sure. The running game is a big question mark because I don't know if Javonte Williams or McLaughlin are going to still be there next year. But we'll see what happens. I mean, of course, your boy Adric
Estime, but I don't think Estime can be a lead back right now. I think you need some. He's a very great physical back, but you need somebody to complement him.
And I think, I don't know what the status of Javonte and Williams and his contract with the Broncos is, but I think from what I've seen before or in the past, I think McLaughlin will take over as the RB1 next year, but I may be mistaken. So sorry, Denver fans, for being a little lack of knowledge there about the Broncos, but we'll see what happens.
You lost 31-7. The story isn't about you. It's about Buffalo.
Yeah, and Josh Allen.
Oh, that was cute. You guys made it to the playoff. He thought you might have had a shot to win.
There.
There.
Let
Run along. Go watch the next highlights for the next 6 months. Calls when the draft happens.
But for Buffalo, yeah, they showed out, man. Josh Allen, 2 touchdowns, 272 passing yards. James Cook had a great game with 120 yards rushing on 23 carries and a touchdown as well. No, best receiver if you're Buffalo, but Curtis Samuel, Khalil Shakir, Dalton Kincaid played well. Ty Johnson
rolls this year, just like it's a guy of the week. Who's going to be the number 1 receiver this week? Whoever is just working with Allen that week.
Yeah, it's just it just depends. It could be a mix of guys. It could be an outlier, like maybe a week or two into it. It all depends. If
they kind of just run with the hot hand, and it works.
And it does work indeed. So Buffalo got the job done. Defense played well. Also, so shout out to the Bills. We're moving on. All right.
Game of the week.
This was the Sunday night game. So let's save that for the other one. We'll go to the Eagles Packers real quick before we get to. Let's save the best for quote unquote last.
Yes.
Because, Eagles 22, Packers 10.
Unimpressive. Boring game. Like from the jump when the Packers fumbled the ball on the kickoff, you're like, okay, this is just going to be an absolute rout by the Eagles. Like, this is going to be a game over at halftime. And then halftime comes around, and it's only like 10-0. You're like, all right, the Packers aren't playing well, but the Eagles are blowing the opportunity to put this game away. Like, they're letting the Packers hang around this game. And I was legit at halftime like, the Packers just need to put a drive together, and they're in this thing. And then
all I saw was pick. Was it 3 picks? No, it was 3 picks. I'm gonna say another pick, but that's Nick's. No, what's it called? Who threw 4 picks? Herbert threw 4 picks.
Yeah, Herbert. I'm like, oh, Chargers.
Love threw 3 picks. Yeah. So, look, I get losing Christian Watson for the year before the game. That hurts.
Oh yeah.
Losing Dobbs and Jaden Reed in the middle of the game also hurts. But Jordan Love, from injuries to just not looking like the guy. He is the guy, but has shown he is quote the guy, if that makes sense. He's a franchise guy, but has not looked the part this year.
They're quickly anointing him the next Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre, where it's like, he's good guys, but he's not at that level yet. He still needs to get there.
He's not ready to lead a team or lead the Packers, I should say, farther into the postseason. the fact that he made the playoffs, which is great. It's good that he made the postseason. It's just when you face an Eagles team that defensively is one of the best out there with just the players they have, plus your lack of a receiver number one, which is not a bad thing because I've said it before. It's like it's not bad to have a mix of guys that could be a receiver.
We just
number
talked
one
about what the Bills do.
With the Bills, yeah. But then again, I feel like this is a team that does need a receiver number one. I feel like they do because Watson never has stood out to me. Dobbs is best fit at receiver number two. Reed is a gadget guy, like a Deebo Samuel type of player he is. And Wicks is just not a starter. No. At number three, number four, at the very best, if you're Dontavion Wicks. So, I think this Packers team does need a number one. If they want to get to the next level. We've saw it in the past with Rodgers and Devontae Adams. I think Love needs one of those guys. I just don't think it's on the roster right now. Now, will the Packers chase a receiver number one in the draft? No, because why? That's not what they do.
But they should, though.
They should, though, but they won't. But more importantly, the Eagles, dude. We've said it before, and we'll say it again. And we're not haters for saying this because it's true, and I'm sure a lot of Eagles fans will look past this because they won. But Jalen Hurts is I can't. His arm is lack of plays with his arm is going to hurt this team because there's going to be a point in time where this Eagles team plays a team that kind of just shuts them down from a passing standpoint. And Saquon Barkley is great. He's fantastic. Obviously, as a Giants fan, losing him hurts because pun intended. Oh, no pun intended there, I should say. I don't try too hard on these jokes, but you have a great offensive line, which is fantastic. You have a good offensive line. You have Saquon going off. Of course, you're going to succeed as a team. But there's going to be a point in time where your arm is going to be tested, that the rushing game isn't going to be going. Will Hurts show out? There's been times where he has this year, 100%. But these are the playoffs. You lose one, you are done. Sure, you threw two touchdowns.
You can't have a bad game.
What's it called? You threw 2 touchdowns, which is great. But really, man, 131 yards. I don't know. I know they won, but I just don't feel the confidence in this Eagles team.
No,
they're the number 2 seed for a reason, and that's Saquon Barkley.
No, I think a lot of the Eagles' confidence was shot down. Because I think going into this playoffs, a lot of people like the Eagles are the best team. If anyone's going to upset the Lions, it's going to be the Eagles. And then the first half of this game happens, and the Eagles are running off the field, and all the scumbags are booing them. Like, rightfully so. They played a bad first half, and I think they were exposed a little bit and came back to earth and goes, hey, this team isn't as good as everyone says they are. Saquon Barkley's as good as everyone says he is, and the defense is really good. But outside of those two, if it comes down to we need to win this game when it hurts and his arm, not happening.
Saquon is just that good of a back that maybe the Eagles will make it to the Super Bowl because of his legs.
Problems. A lot of problems that we thought would appear and didn't because Saquon was kind of like, oh, I'm going to break Eric Dickerson's record.
And that's who he is, Saquon. He's a really good back that masks a lot of problems. We saw it firsthand for so many years, right?
Many years. Oh, my God. 2022 could just be a big reason why.
Yeah, he basically was the guy that was a leading force behind us making the playoffs, and also a good defense that just was clutch in one-score situations, but I digress. And we saw what happens when the Giants don't have Saquon Barkley. The offense is really, really bad. But if you're the Eagles, look, I get it's fun to see A.J. Brown reading a book on the sideline, and that book going from the 99th or 500th bestseller.
Yeah, whatever, to like just shooting up the list because every Eagles fan is buying it.
Yeah, and that's fun and great. But I don't think anyone can sit here and tell me that's a positive thing when your receiver is reading a book on the sideline. I don't care what the reason is. And I promise, like I said, I'm not being a hater. Brian has praised Philadelphia a lot of times. I have praised Philadelphia when they deserve it. when your best receiver is reading a book on the sideline and has just one catch, which is not his fault. I don't know.
No, I really think the Eagles are on upset alert next week, and that could just be a weak NFC that gets them to a conference championship game, and they have a good game against Detroit. But this is not the Philly team we saw 2 years ago when they played the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. It's not that team anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was a really good team. This team is just kind of Saquon Barkley, a great defense, and an average quarterback that you're paying over $200 million to.
Mm-hmm. Average.
Not great.
You tell an Eagles fan hurts his average, they kill you. But let's be honest, they
kill
know
you for wearing the opposing team's gear in their stadium. They kill you over anything. Saying a Philly fan will kill you is like saying a tiger's going to maul you. Yeah, of course it is.
Is the sky blue?
Is the sky blue? Yeah, exactly. The bear poop in the woods? Yep.
Yep.
Speaking of which, you see the video, just, every time people are like, why do you hate Philly so much? The fans aren't that bad. There's a few good ones. Well, then you had the video of the hospitality worker calling someone, see you next Tuesday. People can spell it out if you don't know what that means. To a Packers fan, solely for the reason that she wore a Packers jacket. I'm all for, giving somebody a hard time, busting balls. That's fun. All right. I go to the stadium. We see, the Giants-Jets game last year. 2 Jet fans were behind us. We were giving 2 Jet back and forth. But it was respectful. It was funny. We weren't calling people despicable words like that. Like, it's just like, this isn't Philly. Yes, it is. Because every single year, with every single team, there's a story like this. You have a problem, Philadelphia. You're toxic.
They are toxic. Yeah, I mean,
like every time I see these videos, I feel so vindicated that I keep saying it. Everyone calls me crazy. It's like, no, it's a few bad apples. Then why are these bad apples keep getting on the screen? And why is it every year there's at least 4 videos of Phillies fans acting like pieces of crap? Why? Oh, because your fan base has a problem. And it's not passion, because I have passion, and I'm not calling people, see you next Tuesdays.
I will say shout out to the organization, at least, for I think they banned the fan, but they also, I think they did something with the lady that was harassed. I forgot what it was. I don't think it's tickets to the next game, because that
why would you want that?
Contradict. It's something. I don't know what it is. If you could look it up, if you can, for me.
I'm doing it right now. Eagles fan banned for abusing Packers fan. I think his company also came out and
we'll investigate the situation.
They're investigating it, yeah. Like, so this guy's life is ruined. But you know what? I don't care. Act like an adult at an Eagles game. You can talk trash. You can root for your team, but you don't need to do it. You don't need to verbally abuse somebody like that just because they're wearing a different team than you are.
Damn right.
Like, let them have fun.
Exactly. She's just there.
She's just there. She's there. She loves her Packers. She wants to watch them in a playoff game.
Yeah,
she's there for the same reason you are.
Yeah, they were losing. Like, I always feel bad for the person. She's like, damn, she went to this game.
If you would have said, like, haha, we're beating you, like, you guys suck. It's like, all right, that's something. That's not great, but whatever. Like,
yeah, she was just.
I have to expect that. I'm losing. Yeah. I have to take it.
Yeah, but from the video, she was like, she was like innocent. She was like just being a fan, clapping her hands, something could happen. Like this, there's nothing wrong with that. She paid her, her hard-earned money, or her husband did, or whatever the case may be, to go to that game. Let her be. But Eagles fans don't have the brain knowledge to do it. Well, no. Some Eagles fans.
Some. But some. I would say it's a 50-50 split.
Yeah. Shout out to you, Jared. I love you, Jared, from the corner booth.
He's one of the 50 that are good. Yeah. But then there's the 50 that are bad. And it's probably higher than 50.
So, but yeah, Eagles move on. Like I said, we'll discuss the whole NFC picture in terms of the divisional round in just a bit. But last or second game of the NFC bracket that we'll discuss is Commanders 23, Bucks 20. Baker Mayfield. Oh, that fumble hurt. Hurt.
Because I saw it. I'm like, all right, the Bucks are marching here. Like, this is it. This is the big one. And then he fumbled it. I'm like, and the Commanders just won this game.
Yeah, damn right. You're damn right. Jaden Daniels, once again, the rookie of the year candidate himself, who is honestly, it's between him and Bo Nix. I think I love our boy Malik, but I don't. Yeah.
No, my God, Malik's not even gonna be the top 3. It's
Nope.
legit. It's gonna be Daniels, Nix, and then maybe May gets some consideration.
Maybe.
Yeah, they're gonna pick one of the other quarterbacks.
Yeah, it's not gonna be a quarterback, or it's not
No.
gonna be a non-quarterback award this year.
Oh my God, no.
It's always the quarterbacks. Let's be honest, unless you're Saquon Barkley. But I digress.
You need to have a generational season, and then also be a part of a weaker quarterback class or a class that doesn't impress to be a non-quarterback and win the Offensive Rookie of the Year. Like, look back to that Saquon's rookie season. Like, it was Saquon having a generational year, and all the other quarterbacks didn't start or sucked.
And Saquon had a great rookie year. I think he
a
lot of receptions, a lot of rushing yards.
He broke all the rookie records.
And that was enough to obviously give him the award.
Yeah.
And then obviously the year after that happened with the injury, and
yeah. I'm gonna talk about that.
We miss you, bud. Sometimes.
Nope. Not anymore. You went to Philly.
Yeah, that's true. Commanders, Jaden Daniels, 2 touchdowns, 268 passing yards on the day. Also had 36 rushing yards, which also led the team for the Commanders as well. Diami Brown led the team in receiving with 89 yards and a touchdown on 5 catches. McLaurin had 7 catches for 89 as well. But yeah. It took a game-winning field goal by Zane Gonzalez.
How sick are Bears fans right now after seeing that?
Yeah. But
after the doink goes in, I think every Bears fan's like, it can do that? That's possible? He could have hit the upright and it would have gone in?
You're telling me when it doinks off the goalpost, it could still be a good kick?
What? Like shout out to the Bucs. They're not the biggest loser of the night. It's the Bears. Bears aren't even playing and they're losing.
It's like the field goal situation to like seeing Jaden Daniels do what he's doing in Washington, where it's like
why can't this organization do anything right?
It's like they're looking around and it's like Caleb, Eberflus.
Like, it's just like they're like, all right. So where are the impractical jokers? Where are they? Are they running McCaskey? All right, McCaskey, it's time to drop Caleb Williams over Jaden Daniels. All right, Cody Parkey, hit the upright twice and don't let it go in.
Is it all just a dream? Nope.
No, it's a nightmare.
It's reality, son. It's okay. Go back to sleep.
It's a nightmare you can never wake up from.
Indeed. So, great one by the Commanders. Zane Gonzalez, who has OCD, but respect to him. From the whole. I don't know what he was doing. He took off his shoes. He was like fixing his socks, doing his hair like 3 times as he was walking. I
thought it was just like a nerve thing. Like, that's a big spot, and like I'm gonna be nervous in that situation.
Yeah, and I was like, why is he doing all this? But you know what? Hey, you have your routine. You make a game-winning field goal. I ain't gonna blame you. And that was the first win for the Commanders/Redskins franchise in the playoffs since 2006. So quite a long time.
Just for you out there, George Bush was president the last time Washington won a playoff game. That's how long ago it was. We've had 4 different presidents since then. 3 people, 4 president terms.
Yeah. When I was in 2006, I had no idea what football was.
Yeah, I was 5.
Yeah. Long time.
Long time ago.
Let's pump the brakes also. Commanders, look, I get that you won.
You won because the Buccaneers kind of shot themselves in the foot. Is why you won.
The Bucs are in Detroit. Okay, let's settle down. We're doing a lot of this today. A lot of teams kind of, making.
Need to relax a little.
Yeah.
You won. Great. You're going up against better opponents next week.
Yeah.
Chill.
Detroit's next. You're not beating Detroit. If you do,
you can't play a game like that and beat Detroit. I don't care how injured Detroit is. Their offense is good enough to overcome that. And it's proven. Right. Especially because David Montgomery might be back next week.
That is correct. I think he is slated to be back. We'll get official reports on Thursday, I'm sure.
I think they said he could have played this week if they were playing.
Correct.
He could have pushed himself to play. So he'll be 100% healthy next week.
This man went from being out for the year to some way, somehow, more than likely playing in the divisional round of the playoffs. Insane
Modern medicine, man.
Damn right. And finally, wish we saw our boy out there,
News.
Danny
Oh my
Dimes.
God, the calls for Daniel Jones. I was cackling on my
Woo,
couch.
man.
The fourth quarter, I stopped watching. I was just on Twitter reading all the Daniel Jones comments. I'm like, this is the funniest thing in the world.
I
Daniel
wish we
Jones
saw
did this
him,
game.
bro. I wish we just saw him at least just for one time, man. But he was on the sideline with his little headset in. I was like, damn it, man, we're not gonna see him today. But it was wow. I will say it was quite a mess if you're the Vikings. 9 points scored, 9 sacks. Sam Darnold with a 13.6 QBR. I'm not even
Oh my
joking.
God.
13.6. For reference, I thought Daniel Jones was bad.
Every incomplete throw, every sack, you're just like, there's another million. There's another million. There's another million. There's another million. You're just watching the contract go down and down and down and down and down.
If you're a Sam Darnold, you just cost yourself a lot of money. With last night's performance and
the Detroit performance too. Because in both games, we scored 9 points. You couldn't score double-digit points in the two biggest games of the season.
You go 14-3, which is fantastic if you're Minnesota, but your losses this year have been to the Lions twice, the Rams twice, 2 playoff teams.
I was going to say 2 playoff teams.
2 playoff teams. Donald, you had a great first half of the year. No question.
Yeah.
Second half of the year, you kind of fell off.
Mm-hmm.
And
you can go back to the Sam Darnold we all kind of know.
Yeah.
Because teams figured you out and they figured out the film.
Yeah.
If it's the same thing that happened to Daniel Jones in his year.
True. That's true. Had a great 2022. Philly figured him out. And it took off from there.
Yeah.
As we saw.
Sadly. My buddy sent me a question. He goes, would you rather be the Vikings, have 14 wins in the regular season, but have such a bad playoff performance, it messed everything up? Or would you rather be like the Patriots or Giants who just had a lost season and weren't anywhere near the postseason? Because I said I think I'd rather be the Patriots and Giants because, the Vikings were kind of frauds and it was proven that they're frauds. And now they'll go down forever as the worst 14-win team of all time. And that's all anyone's going to think about. Whereas as you think of like the 2024 season for the Giants or Patriots, it's kind of just going to be like a footnote that everyone kind of moves on from. So like, we're going to lose, but everyone will kind of forget about us. So when we get back to being good, it's not going to be brought up. Whereas when the Vikings, every time they win 14 games now or have double-digit wins, they're like, well, remember in 2024, they won 14 games and put up a stinker in that playoff game. It's always going to haunt them now.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
it's tough because of 14 wins and because
that's the thing.
So long.
Yeah,
but like at the same time, it's like in 10 years, it's going to be such a sticking point of the Vikings lost as a 14-win team. They're bad, whereas like for us, it's just going to be a forgotten season.
I would take the Vikings only because it was fun to see them win that many games. And I mean, they're a team that is just known for winning one-score games. Like it's nothing. Yeah. But I would take Minnesota because of just their success. Mm-hmm. Now, does it suck they lost the way they did? Oh, of course they did.
They were uncompetitive in the two biggest games of the season.
That is
like
true.
Uncompetitive.
Now, is that the team around him is good? It's just the quarterback, and that's on Sam Darnold. That's his kind of fault per se.
Right.
And what I'm surprised at the most was that O'Connell. He didn't say it straight out, but he mentioned it in his press conference. He was like, we're grateful for what Sam's done for us, but could he have played better? Sure. Could I have coached better? Sure. But I'm like,
you don't think he can't wait for McCarthy to be in there at quarterback next year?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. He cannot wait. Can't wait for Anakin Skywalker to be quarterback for him.
Dude, his hair is
he looks like Anakin Skywalker. Look it up. Anakin Skywalker, Revenge of the Sith. It's the same hair.
That's going to be a good TikTok, I will say. Which is going to shut down in 5 days.
5 days. And everybody...
It's shutting down. It's shutting down, right? I don't think there's no.
I don't know. I don't know at this point because
There's no. I don't think it's gonna
it
be
could
saved.
shut down, but then I heard like the Supreme Court could like push it, or like a senator has put a motion to push the ban back 240 days, or like, and now Mr. Beast is out there like, I'm gonna buy TikTok, and like Elon Musk said he'll buy it. It's like, I don't know. I think it's 50-50. I really do. I can see a world where it's banned next week, or I can see a world that it just doesn't happen again and it's pushed back because that's all it ever was.
I feel like it's gonna be like a deal at the buzzer where it's like,
Yeah.
it's saved.
Mhm.
And everyone's like, oh my god, TikTok is saved.
Well, there also is the clause in there that like I don't know how true this all is. I saw this on TikTok, but like the only person that could override it would be a president. So like Biden might ban it on the 19th, but on the 20th, Trump's president, so he could come in and technically unban it. So I'm like, this is a mess, guys. Can we just like not do this?
Social media for you. But hey,
everybody's going the Red Book, right? Isn't that what it's called? The Chinese,
think?
like the version what everyone said TikTok is doing, Red Book actually is doing, and everyone just went there. People are like, I'm picking up Mandarin. It's like, don't.
It's like, do we have to find a substitute for TikTok? Like it we survived without it for years. We don't
Just wait till the next company makes TikTok. You know who should be, and I don't know if they're still around. This would be a perfect time for Vine to re-enter. To rise from the dead. Like on January 19th, it's just like Vine posted a picture of just like a zombie arm coming out of the grave. This would be perfect. Because everyone would jump on that.
Yeah. Or like they're writing a letter, I'm back.
Yeah. Like they had the Michael Jordan letter, I'm back. Yes.
That's what I was thinking.
Who owned Vine? Like is Vine still like
Oh.
Fine. Yeah, who
Twitter.
owned it?
Acquired by Twitter.
Elon's got the opportunity to do the funniest thing of all time.
If he's gonna do something right for us,
Elon, if you want to be popular, because I know you're kind of a controversial figure, if you release Vine, everyone will love you.
Everyone, and that's saying a lot.
Yeah,
he's not part of
maybe all of Gen Z will be like, "Oh my God, Vine's back."
Yeah,
bro.
There's
people
generation.
Don't remember. If people might be too young to remember. Vine was everything for us in middle school. Like that was TikTok before TikTok.
Damn right. You're damn freaking right. But these kids these days will never understand.
They'll never understand how good Vine was. I feel like that's gonna be like our old thing. Like I was around for Vine. Like shut up, Grandpa. We're on the Red Book now. The Chinese have stolen all my information, but I know Mandarin, so worth it.
It's like good for you. Go to China. I say anyways. But we'll see what happens with the whole TikTok situation when it possibly shuts down in 5 days. But yeah, we didn't talk about the Rams, but it was a good win for them. Shout out to them, man. Matthew Stafford, Dan Orlovsky said it before. When this Rams offense gets it going, they will get it going. 24 points in the first half. That's all they need to do. Honestly, they just kind of just cruised the rest of the way. The defense was outstanding. Stafford had 2 touchdowns. Tyler Higbee led the team in receiving. Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua didn't have too much of a good game, especially Kupp. Holy crap. 1 catch of 29 yards. Talk about a fall off if you're Cooper Kupp. But yeah, great win for the Rams. And they shout out to them for winning in circumstances like they have. I mean, from the fires in LA to all the things. Shout out to them.
It's a distraction for those people. It doesn't bring back the house. It doesn't stop the hurting. But for 3 hours on a Monday, everything felt normal again.
Damn right. Which brings us sports. Yeah, power sports always will help take attention away from the pain and suffering of this world. And the Rams did just that. Which brings us to our playoff bracket. Chiefs, Texans are facing off on the 18th. The Lions-Commanders matchup is set as well. Bills, Ravens will likely be the best game of this upcoming weekend. And then Eagles-Rams to end Man,
Sunday is so much better than Saturday.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Blowouts are...
Thank God I have to work Saturday. I'm missing nothing.
Oh, that's right. I'm working Saturday too.
Yeah.
Are you off Sunday?
Yes, I'm off Sunday.
Very nice. Me
exactly.
As well,
that's why I'm happy.
Me as well.
I got I got Bills, Rafe. Oh boy, let's go.
Bills, Ravens, all the things. So we'll make our
Right?
predictions on Thursday. I
Yeah.
think we'll make our predictions on Thursday and all the things. But overall, it's gonna be a good Sunday for us to watch those games. As for Saturday,
Wildcard week,
we
divisional round weekend, one of the most underrated weekends of the calendar year.
that is true. It's gonna be a big week for you.
Yeah.
Sort of. Yeah, big week. And it's not just because of the NFL. It's all about the Irish. Wow. I'll give my quick thoughts real quick.
Oh, yes, go.
My goodness, Leonard cannot throw for shit.
No, my God, Leonard cannot throw a football.
Oh my God. I'm so sorry.
Leonard can't throw. I've been saying it all year. Leonard cannot throw a football. But what he has done, and he switched me, is he's got the personality every quarterback should have. And it's just like, I'm going to do whatever it takes to win this ball game. He's an absolute gamer. He might not be good at throwing the football, but if it doesn't matter even for that short throw, that 5-yard rush, he's going to be like, I'm going to give you 110% every single play.
I'll give you everything I got. And so far, everything he's got has been enough. What a win, man. That's all. I think that's all I got for you.
This is a program-changing win right here. This is the biggest win maybe since the Catholics versus Convict game. Maybe from 1988. Maybe, because I'm trying to think, like, we haven't really had upsets like that. And, like, it wasn't really an upset. Like, it was pretty much an even spread. But everyone wasn't really giving Notre Dame, like, their flowers and this is a game James Franklin's going to win. And James Franklin running his mouth before the playoff game, talking about how everyone should join a conference and yada, 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 yada. How about you win a big game first, James Franklin, before you lecture Marcus Freeman about what being a coach is? Because you are the biggest loser in college football. Absolute loser. He's 1-15 and like big against top 5 opponents. He's like 13-25 against top 25 opponents. This is a guy that legit just beats up on easy teams and gets them to the spot. He's never beaten Ohio State, never beat Michigan. This guy sucks. He is Brian Kelly 2.0, but at Penn State. All right? And that's all I have to say about James Franklin. Very happy that he had to sit there and talk about how good Notre Dame was and how bad his program was. All right, couldn't happen to a better guy. Maybe don't talk so much crap with the opponent coach sitting right next to you. Maybe humble yourself a little bit, you moron. Anyway, Notre Dame. Yeah, no. Back to Ryan Leonard. When Leonard threw that interception late in the fourth quarter or midway through the fourth quarter, I thought at that moment we were done. I sent you the famous video of me chugging a beer. It wasn't beer, but you can get the point. I thought we were done. I really thought we were done. And then I was texting my buddy. I'm like, they play like crap. Great season. We'll go next year. And then as I sent that, it was the Great House touchdown happened on my screen. And my buddy in all cap goes, "Get out of here with that. Oh my God." I'm like, I take back every word I said. Go Irish. I'm back in. And shout out Christian Gray, all right? This is a guy that's he's taken a lot of heat these past few weeks, especially in that USC game. Probably one of the worst games I've ever seen a corner had. It doesn't matter what he does the rest of his time at Notre Dame. He will always be remembered as the cornerback that got the big interception to put us in a spot to win. He's I think they have a similar mindset to how Patriots fans remember Malcolm Butler. It's a very similar thing. Now, it's a little different because, Mitch Jeter still to come out and kick the field goal. Another redemption arc as he had been having field goal troubles the entirety of the season. The end of the season, he was like missing more field goals than he was making. He's been perfect the college football playoffs to come out there, kick that field goal. It looked like it was going right. It looked like it was going right for a second. It just came back. Nails it. Marcus Freeman has turned this culture around. And, everyone's not giving Notre Dame a chance on Monday. That's fine. That's fine. We'll be the underdog. We're good with that. Disrespect us all you want. Keep remembering, keep talking about how great Ohio State is. And they are. Ohio State's got a great roster. Don't get me wrong. But if there's one thing I know about Ohio State is Ryan Day falls apart in physical games. This isn't the same Notre Dame team last year that lost 16-14 in South Bend. This is a different team. This is a more physical team. And anytime Ryan Day has to face a physical opponent, he falls apart. We saw it with Michigan this year, and I think we're going to see it again on Monday.
Oof. Yeah, I think that Great House touchdown was one of my favorites for sure. That defender fell
The
down.
way he juked that defender out, I mean, oh my God.
When the corner fell, I was like,
my knee hurt watching that. I'm like, oh my God.
Dude, when the corner fell, I was like, no. I bet Leonard's eyes was just like, he was looking, and his eyes just like widened.
It worked. It worked.
I was like, oh my God.
He had the same reaction as every Notre Dame fan when he broke that off. Like, oh my God, he's in. We're back in this.
He was gone, and the defender that was trying to chase Great House down, I was like, yeah, it's wraps right here.
Mm-hmm.
But Jeremiah Love, in terms of the running game as well, had 45 yards from touchdown.
How did he score that touchdown?
Dude,
he was stopped.
Really good.
He was stopped and just gave a fifth effort because he already broken off like three tackles and just propelled himself in.
With the knee brace too.
Brace too. I hear all these Penn State fans going, he was stopped. Okay, fine. We're at the 2-yard line. We're going to punch it in the next play anyway. Doesn't really matter.
Yeah. And just his effort on that play was outstanding. I love your running game. Their running game is...
It's our bread and butter. It's what makes us the best.
Yeah, it's basically...
Yeah. Jeremiah Love was actually at the Marshall upset and the Stanford upset. He was at both games for Notre Dame. Mm-hmm. And he had offers from Alabama, Michigan, a lot of big schools. He saw Notre Dame drop those 2 games and still wanted to go to the Irish. That shows a lot about A, Love, and B, what culture Marcus Freeman is trying to build and is selling these recruits on.
Well,
it's only going to go up from here because we got a bunch of money coming in, $20 million all to ourselves, which is going directly into NIL to bring those recruits in. And we have all the exposure. Guys who could want to play for the Irish. The Irish have an opportunity here, regardless to what happens on Monday. The next 5 to 10 years, there's a golden opportunity for the Irish to dominate this sport like they did in the 50s and 60s. There's a real chance for that to happen again.
Yeah, right. It was a good win. Honestly, it was fun to watch. And for Penn State, if there's any loser in this, is Drew Aller, because
he went back to college because of it. If Drew Aller has a good performance, he's going to the NFL draft. He declares.
That is true, but he had 3 interceptions, and I was like, all right, back to college I go.
Yeah, and he was lucky. He only had marked out 1 because there were some questionable calls. That second interception, that was not pass interference. It was an uncatchable ball.
Yes, that is
He wasn't
correct.
catching. The ball was 5 feet in front of him. He wasn't catching it, regardless of that defender's there or not.
Refs made some questionable stuff, 100%. Mm-hmm. But hey, doesn't matter. You guys still won.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. And that narrative that Notre Dame can't beat anybody, that's officially dead. Officially dead. When you beat the SEC champion and the Big Ten runner-up, dead.
Mm-hmm. And you guys, have a chance to show that again on Monday if you guys beat Ohio State. But I'm sure I will be picking you guys for 100% for sure.
I'm not betting Notre Dame because I have not bet Notre Dame since the NIU game, and it's been working.
Don't do it.
But if you are a gambler,
if
Notre Dame is 8-point underdogs, I would hammer that.
Yeah,
8 is a lot of points, especially for this Notre Dame team, which is scrappy and is going to fight. They're not going to roll over and die like other teams in the past have done. They're going to fight and be tooth and nail to Ohio State every single game. This is going to be a really close matchup.
Mm-hmm. They're a gritty team. Defensively, they get the job done. And offensively, they will run.
They'll run you into the dirt. By the way, I can now say this. Abdul Carter having Darth Vader written across his eye black, one of the coolest things I've ever seen in my life.
See, guys, look, Brian's being fair to both teams. He's praising
I watched it in real time, and I'm like, I know I'm not supposed to like him because
cool.
He's the Penn State guy, but that is so cool. I'm like, can he please be a Giant? I want Travis Hunter, but like, if we can't get him, can he be a Giant and roy that every single game? I'll buy jerseys.
Shit, huh? Him and
Him, Burns, Phibbs, Aziz, you bring him back on a short-term contract. Hell, trade Phibbs and replace him with Carter.
well, yeah, that's true. That's
You
true.
could trade Phibbs and get like a quarterback that's like kind of in the same boat where like he's good but like hasn't lived up to the hype yet. Like you could do a trade like that.
Pull something off.
If Joe Shane's smart, get creative.
Yeah,
Just
hey,
saying.
do something. Do something. Come on, Shane. Well, we'll see what he does. But overall, Carter's going to be a very good defensive end in the NFL for years to come. He's a great prospect. And honestly, if he didn't have so many damn holes on his team, he'd be someone I'd definitely get at 3. But obviously,
Hunter.
Yeah, I can't accept that reality yet. If it does happen,
I've accepted it. I'm excited for it. I'm really interested. I want to see what because I never thought we get him. I really never thought it was even a possibility we can get him.
I will feel better about it depending on who we get in free agency.
What would be the quarterbacks who would make you feel better about it? Like if they signed X. I think for me it's Wilson, Fields, and Winston are the 3 quarterbacks I feel okay with.
No, not Russ. No. There's something with Russ. I don't want him. Fields?
Fields is interesting. I think Fields is the most interesting name on that list because he's so young.
But do I want interesting?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, at this point, I'll take interesting over anything else besides incompetency.
The pain and suffering of a giant.
If it turns into a competency, at least it was an interesting idea. It's something different.
I'm trying to think. Free agent quarterbacks. Bills, Broncos. No, Zach Wilson. No.
No, oh my God, no. God. Oh my God.
No.
I don't want Zach Wilson.
That's going too far. Cousin. No. Because that's.
Because Cousins, you had to give up something for him, and then there's the whole contract situation.
I think they're letting him go.
Are you let him go?
Falcons.
If they let him go and it costs nothing, I wouldn't hate the idea of bringing in Kirk Cousins, but then you would have to draft like Jackson Dart in the 2nd round. I think he'd be better mentor quarterback than like a bridge quarterback.
Why do I feel like I have to trade up for Jackson Dart? We're gonna have to trade up.
Because it depends on what he does at his combine. If it's a big combine, he could probably shoot up the draft boards.
This is reminiscent of last year, where we thought Bo Nix and Michael Penix were 2nd-round prospects.
Yeah. Well, that was more on the Falcons doing the all-time reach for whatever reason. If they don't pick Michael Penix there, maybe Bo Nix goes to the Broncos at 12, but Penix would still fall to the 2nd round.
I'm probably being too negative, but I don't think we're getting a quarterback. I'm scared.
I think we're getting a quarterback.
We're getting a quarterback. We're not getting
a quarterback. I don't think it's going to be the quarterback, but we're getting somebody, whether it be a bridge option or like a Jackson Dart. It's someone.
Cleveland just had to be number 2, didn't they?
I think Cleveland would be number 2. Deshaun Watson tears his Achilles again. Jesus. Did you see the video? It was Deshaun Watson doing a TikTok with his girlfriend, and I think it was Dove Coleman. You know what I'm talking about on Twitter?
Yeah, that guy. I remember knowing him.
Yeah, he's like, how can you hate Deshaun Watson? I'm like, I can think of a few reasons. I can think of 36. Or however many cases he has.
You're dead wrong. You're terrible.
I'm not calling Deshaun Watson a good guy. I'm calling him a bad guy for the 36 reasons there shouldn't be a bad guy.
Well, the Achilles injuries are definitely karma, to say the least.
I'm not rooting for him to get hurt, but it couldn't happen to a better guy. If it's one guy you have to give an injury to, I think it'd be him.
But to answer your question, I don't know. Fields? Well, I'm at Winston.
See, Jameis is fun, but like he's not. Jameis is just fun.
He gonna sling it.
He's gonna sling. Yeah, exactly.
To
Him and
who?
Neighbors are gonna do
God
nuggies.
knows. Who's he gonna sling it to? God knows. He'll sling it though.
He's throwing that ball.
Yeah.
We're gonna see some deep throws finally from Brian Dable. I
We
can't
just
tell
don't
you
know
where the
where it's
ball's
going.
going, but it's going somewhere.
It's gonna be in someone's hands. We can't. It's not promised. It's gonna be our team's
I
hands.
can't promise you it's gonna be in our hands, but it's gonna be in someone's.
That's right, and he's gonna be a good locker room leader.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God, if he comes here, the post-game interviews are gonna be hilarious.
I'm gonna watch every single Giants post-game interview forever, just to watch Jameis Winston ramble.
Play the MetLife.
It's all glory to God and stuff. Like, all right.
Yeah, man. That's
all right. Thanks, Jameis.
We love you, Jameis. Like, hey, all glory to God, man. But just
the Giants got blown out 49-7. Jameis Winston talking about like just doing his monologue from before Thursday night. Like, and that was Jameis Winston, everybody. no one asked him a question. It's just like, we'll let Jameis talk for 5 minutes and we'll just put him in the locker room again.
Yeah, it's like, all right, buddy, you're done. Let's
like we all agree we can't get any good quotes out of this guy, right?
Yeah.
Any quotes that are gonna like help we'll get good quotes, but it's not gonna help our story. When asked what Jameis was seeing on the third and 3 when he threw his fourth interception of the game, he said, "Isn't it crazy how I'm playing in a football game right now? All glory to God in the world," and stuff like that.
And all the reporters are just like,
it's like, bro, what?
Yeah.
I think Jameis Winston could be the only NFL quarterback to beat the New York media because even Jameis doesn't know what he's saying.
That is true. That is true.
Like, thinking of Jameis' head, Jameis isn't even in there.
New York media, as with all big markets, tend to criticize athletes a lot. I don't think they're gonna get.
I don't think they cannot. I don't think they can.
They will try.
Oh, they'll give it a shot, but just be like, we can't get through to this guy
because it's Jameis freaking Winston. So, but yeah, we'll talk about quarterbacks and the Giants and all the things when we do our position free agency breakdowns once the season ends and all the things. But yeah, I don't know. I don't want to think about it. I really don't. Because
yeah, the Irish though, all I care about right now. I just think it's funny.
Damn right.
You want me to be a big Giants fan again? Sign Jameis Winston. Let me just have fun.
There you go. And with that being said, folks, that is it for episode 53 of season 2. We broke down all the wild card games. We praised Brian's Irish as they are in the national championship. We'll talk more about that game on Thursday. Give our predictions there. Spoiler alert, we're picking the Irish, both of us. Let's be honest. I love the Buckeyes. Yeah, one of my good friends is a Buckeyes fan. Love them to death. But there's just something in the air. There's something in the air that just that gold helmet energy. Marcus Freeman, just his aura, just spreading through college football.
Yeah. He's made the Notre Dame likable.
He has.
Like, if you're not
coach,
he's gonna be a fantastic coach. He's gonna go down as one of the best coaches we've ever had.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to.
Yeah, don't go.
Take it too long, but his smirk when you mentioned, I didn't mention this earlier, but his smirk when Franklin said he should be in the conference, he was like,
all right. Like, that's the guy. He's like, Marcus Freeman locked in on football. James Franklin running his mouth. And those clips will live forever. They'll live forever. And forever, it's going to be like Penn State would lose this game. Bolton, he was giving Marcus Freeman all the bulletin board material he needed. He really was. He's like, man, like, I don't even need to pump up the guys now. I just need to show him this video and piss them off.
All the ammunition was
it's right
just
there.
given by Penn State.
Yeah.
Man. So we'll see if Ryan Day takes the same approach, or maybe he's a bit smarter when they.
I don't know. He's smarter with Marcus Freeman, but he's starting a rivalry with Lou Holtz, which, not a good look when you're beefing with the 80-year-old man.
Interesting beef, to say the least.
Interesting beef. I wrote about it last year. It was interesting.
An old man, 80 years old.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like, yeah, you're mad that the former Notre Dame head coach picked Notre Dame to beat you. That's what you're mad about? That? You stupid?
Sometimes, I don't know. Anyways, you can follow our social media pages, Brian at BrianPG1016. You can follow me at Nathan_New124. And you can follow our podcast page at Third and 10 Pod at Twitter and Instagram, and on YouTube.
We're
at
not
Third
joining
and
Redbook.
Podcast. No. I can't
Right,
make
that's
it
what
on a
it's
social
called,
media page.
Redbook.
Yeah, I think it is. I'm not making it on a social media page again. I'm sorry. I don't care how good that platform is. I am not doing
I
that.
don't want to have to learn a different language to enjoy the platform.
Dun,
I'm sorry if that's ignorant of me, but I'm sorry.
Unless they let us go live on there, that's a different story. That will maybe
then we'll
interest you.
learn Mandarin.
Yeah, it's like 하세요, Third and 10 podcast. No.
Oh my god, that'd be a great segment during the off season. Brian and Nate try to learn Mandarin. It's just us
Oh
just
shit!
trying to pronounce words.
Not Chinese, by the way, folks. So y'all know right now the big difference. Chinese people are. You know what? No, we're not gonna get into that. Thank you guys.
See you guys.
Thank you guys so much for watching and listening. We appreciate your support as always, and we'll see you guys back on Thursday. We'll talk more about the divisional games coming up, the national championship game as well, and some other headlines going around the world of sports. For Brian, I'm Nate. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you guys in the next one.